It's Hamtaro time, bitches! From VHS tapes to plushies to playsets, I expressed my devotion to this orange hamster with a large chunk of my parents' hard-earned cash. Now that I'm older, I've matured a bit and instead stick to paying homage via perler beat art and dancing to the ending theme on Stepmania. You know, adult things. No more playsets for me. And of course, I still play the video games. The first two American Hamtaro entries are hugely nostalgic and comforting for me, and I know a lot of people are quick to dismiss them as silly games for girls, and that's where I need to come in and put you in your place. So sit down and perksy up while I educate you on the validity specifically of Hamtaro Ham Heartbreak as a video game with educational and socially compelling gameplay elements for kids. Ham Heartbreak came out for Game Boy Advance in 2003 in North America and was my introduction to the world of Hamtaro games. Ham Hams Unite for Game Boy Color, which I also loved, was the first American entry in the franchise, and the 7th best-selling Game Boy Color game in Japan, but the first Hamtaro game ever was Totoko Hamtaro Tomodachi Daisakusen Dechu, which never received localizations, and which was actually the foundation for the Tomodachi line of games, including Tomodachi Life for the 3DS. While Ham Hams Unite and Ham Heartbreak are adventure games, TTD has the appearance of a virtual pet game, but is actually a sort of fortune-telling game that, based on the name, nickname, blood type, gender, and birthday of the player, gives the player a pseudo-randomly generated analysis of their personality, what ham they're like, and even scoring compatibility with the other users that have been entered. While the franchise's debut is clearly different from the future entries, it was actually the 9th best-selling game for Game Boy Color in Japan, and I think that's f***ing sick. After Ham Heartbreak, the last adventure game in the franchise was Rainbow Rescue for Game Boy Advance, which was actually developed by Alpha Dream, and earlier in the same year came Wake Up Snoozer, the only Hamtaro game for PC and Mac. In 2004, 2005, and 2007 came Ham games for Game Boy Advance, Totoko Hamtaro Nazo Q for DS, and Hi Hamtaro Ham Training for DS accordingly, all of which were also developed by Alpha Dream. In Ham Training, we can see that all the Hams have shed some ounces, similar to how Pikachu's design has progressed in the Pokemon franchise. In 2011, we saw the release of Little Hamsters Big Adventures for iOS, but in 2014 the game was removed from the App Store and is now unplayable. It's basically just Bejeweled. There were also a handful of Hamtaro Flash-based games that I spent way too much time on as a kid. In my opinion, Ham Heartbreak outshines all of these, which you may be thinking would not be too difficult to do, but I really think that it, as well as Ham Hams Unite, deserve more credit as adventure games than they get. In Ham Heartbreak, your mission is to reunite hamsters that have had their relationships damaged by the evil workings of a maniacal being. A beast so foul, his name is even a synonym for the fights he causes, Spat. His benevolent counterpart is Harmony, who encourages you to restore the love that's been lost between various distraught hamsters across the land. As you salvage bonds and heal broken hearts, your love meter fills. This gameplay mechanic is so sweet as a concept, and the details behind it are wonderful things for a child to internalize. So often we are taught to value and prioritize romantic love through childhood stories of a hero and a damsel, but the relationships you repair can be between lovers, friends, family members, rivals, even between an inventor and an invention. And all of them equally fill your love meter's gauge. I think this variance in depicting love is a wonderful message to impart to children, and I think a lot of adults could do with a few reminders about expressions of love outside of a romantic lens as well. The idea that so many fights are caused by miscommunication and an inability to express ourselves effectively is also deeply ingrained within the game's content, and in order to help guide heartbroken hamsters to communication, Hamtaro and Bijou need to learn to communicate in precisely the way that will resonate with each individual, and you do this by discovering new words or ham chats while on your quest. This mechanic is borrowed from Ham Hams Unite, but Ham Heartbreak's predecessor does not have the aforementioned mechanic of repairing relationships. While all of the ham chats are pretty simple to understand from an adult perspective, I'd say that I learned and memorized a fair amount of synonyms and word meanings as a child thanks to the Ham Chat Dictionary. While dazzly isn't an exact replication of the word dazzling, seeing it defined as beautiful in the dictionary can help a child to associate similar sounding words with this meaning. Bizarro meaning strange, mingly meaning play, dilinque meaning bad. These all work to the same effect. By using context clues and also by being given animations for all of the ham chats, these silly versions of synonyms can be more easily internalized and memorized by players. Some are more based on common sound effects or turns of phrase instead of words. Coochie-coo for pretty, hardy-har for laugh, or ta-da for show. Some are less educational, like go pee for bathroom, or simple ham chats like thank you for thank you, or dig dig for dig. Alright, it's not exactly designed as an educational game, but I was about 7 years old when I played this, and I think that through learning synonyms and by applying them in different contexts, this game can contribute to developing some form of communication skills. It does revolve around the concept of using communication to strengthen relationships after all. But any potential benefit of expanding one's vocabulary definitely comes second to the use of love as a gameplay mechanic, which is primarily why I love this game so much. There are so many genuinely adorable moments throughout that honestly make me laugh out loud. It's not the first game that comes to mind when I think of something to recommend, but I do think it was a tip-top game to grow up with. And I know I'm not alone in feeling that way. Reviews for it were largely pretty solid. IGN writer Craig Harris commends it despite acknowledging the fairly widely shared opinion of it not being very masculine to admit liking it, and Martin Taylor of Eurogamer dismisses criticisms of it being regarded as childish. Ultimately, while I think it's an especially impactful game for a younger audience, Ham Heartbreak can definitely be enjoyed by anyone regardless of age. And there's even a Zelda reference. Come on! If you've played it, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you haven't, what else do I need to do to convince you? Thanks so much for watching! Bye, Q!